They took the files. They swore the witnesses to silence. And for 70 years, America forgot. This is the echo of the unknown. September 12, 1952. Flatwoods, West Virginia. Population less than 200. A place where nothing ever happened. Until 7 o'clock. Several residents saw a bright object streak across the sky. It left a trail of orange light. Some said it was a shooting star. But shooting stars don't hover. And they don't disappear behind a hill. The local sheriff told everyone to stay inside. But children are curious. 6 people climbed that hill. A boy named Edward May. His younger brother. 3 friends. And their mother, Kathleen May. They reached the top. The air smelled wrong. Like metal. Like sulfur. One of the boys later said it smelled like burning rubber, but worse, like something dead. And then they saw it. Behind a large oak tree, something was standing. Not a man. Not an animal. 10 feet tall. A dark green body. A face with no mouth. No nose. Just 2 eyes. Glowing red. Pulsing. The creature hissed. Not like an animal. Like air escaping from a broken pipe. Industrial. Wrong. It moved. Not walking. Gliding. Floating above the ground. The boys ran. But not fast enough. Within hours, the witnesses started showing symptoms. Their skin began to peel. On their faces. On their hands. Raw, red patches. One of the boys couldn't stop coughing. He coughed blood. The doctors had no explanation. The sheriff arrived. He found deep impressions in the mud. Not footprints. Something heavier. And a trail of slime. Glowing green slime that burned when touched. He called the fire department. They brought Geiger counters. The counters went insane. The hill was radioactive. Not background radiation. Hot. Military hot. That night, the phone rang at the Pentagon. Within hours, military vehicles appeared in Flatwoods. Men in plain suits took over. They collected samples. They confiscated the sheriff's notes. They interviewed the witnesses. And then they told everyone to forget. The next morning, the official statement was released. It was a meteor. A bright meteor that frightened some children. Nothing more. But the witnesses never believed it. Now, let's look at the other side. The skeptics. For decades, debunkers have claimed that the Flatwoods Monster was just a barn owl. A large bird sitting on a tree branch. The glowing eyes. Light reflecting from its face. The hood. The shape of its head. The hiss. A bird protecting its nest. It sounds reasonable. Until you look at the details. First, barn owls are 2 feet tall. The witnesses described a creature 10 feet tall. 5 times larger. Second, barn owls don't glow. They don't leave glowing green slime. And they certainly don't make Geiger counters scream. Third, barn owls don't cause radiation burns. Edward May's skin peeled for weeks. That is not an owl attack. That is exposure to something unknown. The owl theory explains one detail and ignores everything else. That is not science. That is wishful thinking. So what really happened? We know the Pentagon arrived within hours. We know Project Blue Book classified the files. We know the witnesses never changed their story. And we know the hill was radioactive. The question is not whether they saw something. The question is, what did the government find? Kathleen May went to the newspapers. She described everything. The eyes. The hiss. The burns on her son's skin. The newspapers destroyed her. They called her crazy. A hysterical woman. A liar. They printed cartoons of her running from a barn owl. The town laughed. The country laughed. But Kathleen May did not back down. She said, "I know what I saw. The government knows what I saw. They just don't want you to know." For 70 years, Flatwoods became a joke. A footnote. Something you mention in lists of forgotten monster stories. People compared it to the Mothman, the famous creature from the same state, West Virginia. Two cousins in the same dark family. But the witnesses never changed their story. Not once. Not one of them. Edward May, the boy who climbed the hill, refused to visit that place for the rest of his life. His skin never fully healed. He died in 2018. He never spoke about it again. The files from that night are still classified. The Pentagon said it was a meteor. But meteors don't leave radioactive trails. Meteors don't make your skin peel. Meteors don't hiss. And meteors don't watch. The question is not whether they saw something. The question is, what did the government find? And why are they still keeping it secret? Flatwoods is a small town. But the echo from that hill is still loud enough to wake you up at night. They took the files. They swore the witnesses to silence. And for 70 years, America forgot. But the hill remembers.